Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan back again with another Rival Fan podcast. As always, get your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You love to see it. We got the two homies in the building. Kojo will be joining us very shortly. He's finally got his PS5. You know, it's only taken him 9 months, but here's what it is. He's happy, God bless him. So Kojo's probably going to come with a big smile on his face. But before we get to Kojo, let me introduce to you the panel. We got the only Iniesta in the building from 3 in midfield. We got the homie Cahil. What you saying, bro?
Andres Iniesta Luan. That's who I am. Don't wear it out, man. That's the name. Don't wear it out.
Yeah, I forgot. I was about to say, I forgot to add. Also, the quiz champions as well. I love to see it. I've got bloody flipping hair in my mouth. It's fantastic. Great start. I'm just saying to Ken as well. I need to get out flipping trim. My beard is pissing me off, but it is what it is. Anyways, let's move on to our second guest. Eyes on the ball, all the way from London. The best part of London in terms of the club. This weekend, things have changed slightly, certain man would be saying it's claret and blue, but nonetheless, we got a homie Daniel in the building. What are you saying, bro?
Already know, man. Good to be on once again, for sure. Yeah, man. Should be fun.
You sound down, Daniel. What's been happening?
Yeah, what's up? you don't sound your chirpy self, man. Is everything alright?
How can Cahil of all people say that?
that's what I know about the show. No one cares about that team as everyone knows, because apparently I get triggered by everything. But here's what it is. Listen, he's here. He's got a smile on his face. He's got his PS5. Wait, oh my God! Listen, I'm going to start with the PS5, Kojo. Like, first and foremost, this is great. This is great resilience from Kojo. For any youngsters, if you want something, you've got to stay resilient. You've got to work hard. You've got to stay determined. And it's taken a while, but it's finally delivered. Kojo, talk us through this monumental day.
Today has been wonderful. I woke up and listen, Cahil knows the stress. I have subscribed to Twitter pages. I have had a day when I sat in front of the laptop on the game, what's it called? Queue for about almost 9 hours. Only to get to the basket and then man to tell me, you ain't getting no PS5. Until today, when I secured a deal. PS5, disc edition with 4 games on top, $550. Got the thing with my boy Spencer. We ran into the car like we're in the hood because we don't trust anyone in the ends, you know what I'm saying? First time ever I've let him through my car park, and Cahil knows no one's really been in my car park ever. To the house, and then now I'm here. My dad's about to collect a nice crate of super malt to enjoy my success. That's how you do things. Come on.
Listen, that's what it's all about. You work hard and success tastes even sweeter. You love this here. And listen, speaking of success, there's only one manager who's got a spotless record in terms of keeping his team in the league. And when people said he's down and out, he delivered a blow. Listen, a punch from the gods. Listen, it was basically like flipping AJ all over again with Ruiz. That punch was from the gods. 5-2 away from home against Chelsea. Where should we start with?
At the bridge.
In the old backyard. The old backyard. What, Cahil? We're gonna let you start first, actually, because I feel like I always make you go last. So, Cahil, what are your thoughts, mate? 5-2. Madness.
5-2. I'm gonna keep my thoughts limited, knowing that my team embarrassed me this weekend. You said I need to address something because you said Sam Allardyce he's the only manager that hasn't been sent down with a team. That's only because he got fired from Newcastle that went down that year. I feel like that should be a stay on his record for the majority of that season. He was the reason why Newcastle going down. But
that team, we know all about Newcastle.
Yeah. But 5-2, I don't know what to say. Like, West Brom. Daniel, I know you're looking down, but West Brom.
Yeah, he's looking down to you, Cahil, because you're that low, man. That's what it is. He's looking at you.
Usman's got smoke for everyone.
I didn't even make you. You just fished for no reason. You just fished for no reason.
I love fishing, I'm quite good at it. So.
You are pretty good, but no. I guess everybody was waiting for Tuchel to slip up eventually, but just nobody expected it
I mean, that's the
to.
understatement of the century.
To be honest, because it seemed like he was going to go unbeaten for the entire season, and nobody expected West Brom to turn up to Stamford Bridge and pop smoke on them. Thiago Silva, that's probably the main turning point of the entire game, because
absolutely.
that was a stupid, super yellow card, second yellow card, because he was going nowhere. The ball was out of the control. He just absolutely clamped him, so he deserved that second yellow. But what after that though? I don't know. You made them look like prime Arsenal, and it's like,
wow,
what's going on?
Okay, out of all the teams you use, this prime Arsenal, you just
Prime Arsenal,
I'm going back there. I'm going back there.
Yes, you love to see it. You love to
Because
see it.
who was the guy that scored?
Which one?
Perez.
Which one?
I know
Yeah,
the hat trick.
Which one? Take your pick.
The hat trick was it Pereira?
He scored two. He scored two.
I don't think he scored a hat trick. He scored two.
No, Pereira scored two. Robinson scored two, innit?
Okay.
They look the same though. Even I was watching the highlights and I was like,
That chip was mad.
I actually thought it was Pereira. Uncle Laurie saying, "Yeah, Kale, give a high five to the panel." Obviously, you love to see it. You love to see it. Kojo, we'll bring you in first because obviously I've got a feeling Daniel's got some opinions on this matter. Where do you sit on the whole situation? They go 1-0 up. I kind of said this to Kish yesterday. A part of me feels like Chelsea were kind of complacent in that situation where they're 1-0 up. And I thought, oh, we're going to go into cruise control now. And obviously, they didn't actually say it, but in the back of their head, they're thinking, we've won this game. And obviously, the Premier League, you can't be doing stuff like that. Of course, the red card had huge ramifications on the game. But nonetheless, the goals they conceded were just defenders just switching off left, right, and centre, really.
Yeah, they were asleep for pretty much all the goals. The long ball. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from West Brom because some of the finishes, some of the goals they scored were actually beautiful to watch.
Take it away, bro. Don't never do that.
The passing was gorgeous.
The passing, especially for the fourth one, I was like, whoa, what is going on here?
It around, man. Like,
Exactly.
Watching Man City.
The caliber of passes were really good. Mateus Pereira was really good, showing Andres Pereira what Pereira should really be doing. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot he's still our player, my flipping
bruv, listen, remember how gassy we were when he got sent on loan, and yeah, he's coming back, man. It's peak.
We don't need another player. We've got Pereira in it, so
yeah, I've been missing him. But yeah, no, they just looked so comfortable. I think once they got their goal and they realized how complacent Chelsea were, they just went for it. They were starting to throw bodies up front. The free attackers going. Phillips was having the time of his life. He was attacking. He was a constant threat. He was cutting in, shooting with both feet. It was a danger. The way he shielded for the second goal for Pereira was beautiful. Shielded off Marcus Alonso. So, listen, as good as they were, though, Chelsea's defending was just comical. And that's the best way for me to describe it. It was just comic defending. Jorginho was giving the ball away. Reece James was giving the ball away. Zuma looked lost. Alonso's never been good defensively anyway, so that's just Alonso being Alonso. So yeah, they deserve what they got, man. But 5-2 with 10 men. I know it's 10 men, but 5-2 against a team that is nowhere near your level of quality shouldn't be happening. If you're gonna lose that game, make it more respectable. You know what I'm saying? Rather than a 5-2, you shouldn't be conceding 5-2 at home to West Brom.
Yeah, no, 100%. They definitely shouldn't be conceding 5 to West Brom, regardless of how many men they got on the pitch. But Daniel, obviously, we've got to get your perspective on the situation. Where did it go wrong for you, really? Because look, like I said, 1-0 up, the red card, and then 2-1 down at half time. I don't think anyone saw that coming, really.
Yeah, no, I think, look, at the end of the I just saw a comment, sorry. At the end of the day, what's it called? First of all, the thing that isn't a talking point is obviously the red card, but you have to look at it again in terms of ref consistency, because the same thing that Thiago Silva got a yellow card for, I mean, literally happened to Werner in the penalty box, so arguably should have been a penalty, and it was a high tackle as well. It was a very bad tackle. I think it was from Furlong. But obviously, look, when you lose 5-2 to West Brom, that doesn't become a talking point. You know what I'm saying? That there's no excuses there at all. I think, yeah, man, it's less so about this game and more so about the mental fragility of Chelsea. And that's what Tuchel. If Tuchel wants to be successful at Chelsea, this is what he's gonna have to change in the culture of the team. Like, there seems to be a thing where Chelsea, when the going gets tough, they seem to just collapse, and it becomes so bad. Like I go back to Conte, we got a red card against Watford, lost that game 4-1. Sarri had a lot of heavy losses, 6-0 against City, 4-0 against Bournemouth. Lampard had a couple heavy losses, Sheffield United, Leicester, all beating us 3-4-0. So it's not something that we couldn't see coming. Like it was going to come. We just didn't expect it to be West Brom 1. Didn't expect it to be like what's it called, so soon after how successful we've been. And it's just annoying. Like it's it's just annoying. Like you just get so pissed off about certain individuals just being like their normal selves. Like, and that's the thing that you could rely on so far under Tuchel. Like even though we weren't scoring a bucket load of goals, defensively we were resolute. Like no one was getting through, no one was creating chances against us. And then as soon as we go down to 10 men, we just let West Brom run ragged. Callum Robinson has flipping scored only 7 goals in the Prem, and they're all
against you. Like I couldn't believe that when I seen it. That's a madness.
Yeah, man. All in all,
I was going to say, I'm gonna channel my inner Lawless because I'm trying to think what would Lawless say in this situation, and I know what he's going to say. He said, "You were saying to us the week before you can't draw this kind of game, and then you go losing 5-2 to Big Sam and still think you're gonna get top 4." So what?
Nah, but it's not the same. Well, to that point, Lawless, it's not the same thing. We're still Chelsea. You're still West Ham. And like we could lose 7-0 and I'd still have confidence that we'd finish.
Yeah, but again, you'd be saying, well, if we win tonight, we go above you. So
and look, that's fine. But I stand by my point. Look, he's gone on Twitter now, started backtracking. If Rice, because we don't have Rice for the next month, if Moyes gets top 4, he deserves a statue. And da-di-da-di-da. If he gets top 6, he deserves all the credit in the world. So, like, I'm not really trying to hear it, especially when he's literally trying to quickly backtrack. And he talks about having the smallest squad. Bro, they're in one competition. Like, stop complaining. Just get the job done. And if you get the job done, my mouth will be shut. I'll have egg on my face. Everyone will banter me because I'm the only one who predicted West Ham not to be and make the top 4. So, like, I don't care. But the main point is, when it comes to Chelsea, in my opinion, I just think this is a wake-up call. And by next week, so just how fickle the Premier League is, by next week, people will forget it if we win and everyone else loses. The same, like, bro, Arsenal lost this weekend. Tottenham should have gone above us this weekend. They went and dropped points. If West Ham don't win today, the West Brom loss becomes a forgotten thing. It becomes a non-entity. So, really,
isn't this your football heritage speaking? Because you're Chelsea, that like automatically you can get top 4.
No, literally. But that's the reason why I said we'd finish in the top 4 last year. Because regardless of the manager, even if we had flipping Carlo Cudicini at the helm, like Chelsea have quality players, and as long as you put those quality players,
I'm gonna nip that in the bud because Sir Frank Lampard was in charge of United, so that's a myth, isn't it? So you need a proper.
He finished in the top 4 in his first year with no signings.
Where were you this season though? When he got signed?
But the point is, he finished in the top 4 in his first year. Like, you can't discredit him because the same way Sam Allardyce has never been relegated, despite the fact that he, the Newcastle team were on their way down. Lampard also has only finished in the top 4 when he's given a full season. So such is the beauty.
Can you just wait till we speak about it? Like, bro, come on, man.
Oh shit, man! Arsenal, you love to say it. But in terms of Chelsea, like for me personally, you know, none of us put Liverpool in the top 4, but it is looking.
I did.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Daniel did. Yeah,
I said don't sleep on Liverpool. I said that.
Okay, well, you might hope that if you do sleep on Liverpool, because it looks like they're going to take your spot, if anyone's spot. Well, it's obviously we don't know the situation with Leicester.
They'll take Leicester's spot. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Brendan Rodgers will cock up eventually.
That's what I've said, innit? But Kale, just to come to you quickly, and then we'll move on to obviously your beautiful team. Listen, in terms of Tuchel, like this is his first, loss. Like I've got to be honest, some of the overreaction from the media and the fan bases is a bit. He's lost one game. Okay, granted.
Have you seen what they did? They now said Rudiger and Kepa beefed before the game,
no, I've seen that.
Which happened last week before the game. They've settled it. They're boys now. They even were pictured together in training. But the media blew it out of proportion. Said, "Oh, the headlines." Kepa and
Listen,
Ruben.
them must have got
They were
to
waiting.
end up.
They made it sound like it was this week, like after the match.
You think that comes out if we win that West Brom game comfortably? No. Come on, everyone fights in trade. If you played football, you fight with almost everyone, especially if you're a big character.
Yeah, me and Kisho was arguing like all the time.
So,
His finishing pisses me
man.
off.
They
Just
just
be
want
watching
him out.
today. I think so.
It's agendas, man. It's agendas.
Oh, you love to see it. But yeah, in terms of Tuchel, Kiel, what are your thoughts on this? Because look, he's gonna have to bounce back. That was a humiliating loss, to say the least. You can say what you want about the red card, but that's just inexcusable, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, but I mean, what Daniel's, just to echo what Daniel said, if they win the game next week and if West Ham don't take advantage of their game against Wolves, which obviously they're not the Wolves of yesteryear, but they are still a tough side. But West Ham should be, if they think they're contenders for top four, they should be beating Wolves. Yeah, it all gets blown up if they don't take top four, but he has to bounce back. That you can't go from this L to a West Brom that were the 19th.
Yeah, 19th, literally.
Something like that. Yeah. For them to Sam Allardyce side as well to absolutely hammer you at home. You got to bounce back from that. You have to.
Right. Okay.
I also feel like if he doesn't get top four, I think he's gone.
Really?
I think he's gone.
How long is his contract?
It's like a year, isn't it?
So
He's not.
Daniel muted, bro. You muted.
18 months.
18 months.
Okay. So they could, but it would be. I don't know.
Think he was sacked. What I keep saying is, it just goes to show how bad the position Lampard put us in. How can we go 10 games unbeaten and we're still shaking in fourth place? Like that just shows that we were so far behind.
Well, it says a lot about the league, in it, really, in terms of the quality of the league. You know, it's been absolutely shocking. You know, but obviously, Man United fans don't want to hear that because we're second. But listen. Let's get on to Arsenal. We'll come to you first, Kojo. Arteta. You know, I seen the table. I think it was Neeks that posted it. I think it might have been Neeks. So Neeks posted the table. It was kind of. Talking about Man United, but obviously I put it towards Arsenal. So Arsenal 2 points better off this year compared to this position last season, but then the exact same position which is 10th. So they were 10th last season, they're 10th this season at this exact same point. But Arsenal fans seem to think there's been a lot of progression. Obviously, I must be watching different games because according to Arsenal fans, the football's very good. You know, you can see what Arteta's trying to do. Yada yada yada. Trust the process. You know, Kojo, what are your thoughts on the Arsenal situation? Losing 3-0 at home to Liverpool and practically not throwing a punch the whole game, really.
That performance yesterday pretty much summed up. If we're talking from like a proper neutral perspective, that summed up everything I would hate about Arsenal today. That's as simple as it gets. You have a 30-goal a season on average striker doing defense for most of the match.
Have you seen his average position for the game?
Bro, shocking.
Have you seen it, Kale? He was further back than Tyranny. His average position.
You know what's funny?
Lacazette was behind Partey, fam.
You know what's funny? There was a whole bunch of people on Twitter saying that if Aubameyang tracked back, then maybe he'd be playing better. And then you look at where he actually was. He was doing defensive during all games. Like you can't win. He can't win.
Honestly, and for me, it's just comical in the sense of that you can't talk about progress and say that we've progressed from last season and the gap being 2 points but same league position. There's no progress there. That's not progress at all. Progress is what Leeds done, going for the championship and trying to compete in the top half of the table.
Leeds can overtake Arsenal.
Exactly. And this is it's a joke. It's a joke. Honestly, Kel said it best recently that Arsenal being where they are is just quite frankly completely unacceptable. And that's what it is. And that game summed it up. And they made it easy. Liverpool were good, but they still made it easy for Liverpool. Liverpool, I think they were. Yeah, they were. Well, in second half,
those goals that they conceded. I'm just gonna. I know, Cody, you're a stickler for bad defending.
I'm about to go there. I was actually about to go there.
Those goals. The first goal, right? Man is what 6'4". How old is? I swear he's like
Jota.
Man, there's one guy in the back.
I think Holding's like 6'1".
Okay, either way, right? There's one guy in the box, right? And there's no one in front of him. There's no one making a near post run, so I got nothing else. He's clearly seen Jota. The fullback, was it? I don't even know who the fullback was. It Cedric.
Callum Chambers.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Carl. Sorry, my bad.
Don't. I'll keep
I'll
him informed. Don't worry, man.
So Carl was at right back, and even he couldn't even like. Bro, that first goal is absolutely embarrassing.
Do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate about it the most is I hate when a ball's about to be whipped in, which you can see clearly he's about to whip it in.
Bro,
it's players that don't try and even judge where the ball is going. The ball's coming at you in flight, and you're running into a space
That's not even the problem for me, though. That the problem for me is just the desire. Like, I have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's desire.
Go win the ball.
Yeah, go win the ball. Like, it's not. As a defender, it should just be your bread and butter. Like,
Daniel.
And everyone's all like, Trent, ooh, that was the greatest ball.
No, it wasn't.
Bro, it's so simple. They were calling him Beckham, you know. They were calling him Beckham.
Daniel,
like that cross was like, yeah, cool.
Daniel,
yeah.
what you said there is, I'm so happy you said that because I've been moaning about this for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
Literally, like this lack of desire. The defenders don't enjoy defending. So when you get a defender that actually loves to defend and does their primary job, you're excited, and in this day of football now, is that the players are Arteta? Jerry, you need to stop. You need to be stopped.
Jerry, you need to stop, bro. I'm gonna come to your neck tomorrow, bro.
He's coming on us tomorrow as well, actually.
You'd love to see it.
But yeah, like when defenders have defenders now that actually love to defend, if they do it to a basic decent level, they're boosted up to a whole new level. Like, oh, this is great. No,
say his name.
No.
Say his name.
But that's the same. Like, has one good game. Callum Chambers has one good game in like 30 odd games.
He was gassed,
and then
he gassed up.
Said he's back on. Bro, this is what I'm saying. Defenders nowadays
on Instagram, like he's playing, like he's just helped his team get to the final.
Defenders nowadays
for a few of those West goals at West Ham as well. Defensively, he was horrible.
Defenders need to go and watch. Yeah, like everyone was talking about KDB here against Leicester. Ruben Diaz was man of the match in that game, and like all the defenders in the league, Zuma, Christensen, all of them, they need to go and watch this guy because what he does week in, week out, as in up against 1v1s, headers, reading the game, like it's just impeccable. And that's the problem with these guys. Like they're just all rubbish. They're actually rubbish.
Gabriel yesterday.
Think about it. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Let's take out Man City and take out Van Dijk. Yeah, the centre backs in the league now are in the big clubs. You got Gomez, you got Kabak, Phillips, and Matip when he's fit. Then you got Zuma, Christensen, Rudiger. Then you got Maguire, Lindelof,
from
Bailly, Transibi, harsh but young. Then you got Gabriel, Holding, flipping. Like we're saying, and look, no disrespect, but we're saying Wesley Fofana and Soyuncu are probably like top 5.
I was just about to say Fofana has really impressed me this season.
No, he has impressed me, but my point is
he shouldn't be top 5. He shouldn't be top 5. He shouldn't.
Yeah, no, he definitely shouldn't. Yeah.
And it's a problem. It's a serious look. Johnny Evans is people are now saying Johnny Evans is one of the best centre backs.
Oh my god!
And that's how bad.
Man United should have sold him. Did they remember who he was?
This is the whole that's point. How bad defending has got, and that's my point. Like they're all rubbish, all of them. I don't care about 5 games, 6 game stretches. Like that's what we're all clinging on to now. Christensen, player of the month. Yeah, he had a great month, but it's not good enough to just do it for 1 month and then go missing for like 4 months.
Usmaan, this is what I said. Yeah, this is what I said to you. Like when people say, when I went to a training session and I was like, so why are you a good defender? And they say, oh, because I passed the ball. I said, that's not the first thing you say to me, but I don't want to hear that. Yes, ball playing is good.
Coach, I've got something. Go finish what you're going to say because I'm going to say something to you. Go on.
Ball playing is good, like, but tackling, marking, winning the ball in the air, positioning, body positioning, knowing where you should be on your toes and where you want to take the defenders, the opposition twos as a defender. But all these things are more important than ball playing. Ball playing you can learn. You get gassed off all these Guardiola used to play the ball out from the back. Yeah, but Puyol and Piqué those years were defending like madmen. You know what I'm saying? Like they had levels to this. And now it's got Ruben Diaz doing his thing. Like, let's keep it real. Defending here is trash. Gabriel's getting gassed up this season by a lot of people, not just Arsenal fans. There's a lot of people that are gassing him. Look at the shocking performance he had yesterday.
Just look at what happened when Stones
He was shocking. He was shocking.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he was shocking yesterday, but he's been good. He's decent.
I think he's had a
good is a stretch.
He's
been all right.
He's been all right. I think exactly. He's been all right.
He's been all right. Like for his first year, yeah, he's been all right. But like that's besides the point. Like the point is, we do not have good defenders in our league, and
we do not.
That we do. We're deluded. Like so deluded. We don't have good defenders. Full stop.
Yeah, listen, I was going to say this, Kojo, because obviously it's kind of gone off topic slightly, I'm not going to lie, but I've got to say it because you just brought me on it. Why do you criticize Wan-Bissaka so much when he's the best defensive right back probably in the league?
Because he's the best one-on-one when someone's coming at him. When it comes to positioning, when it comes to...
he was at fault for that first goal, by the way, with Welbeck.
Exactly. When it comes to positioning, when it comes to reading the game, when it comes to attacking aerial balls, he's not it. He doesn't do it. You can be good when someone comes at you. I like that. That's good. Yeah, don't let them beat you.
Probably the best in the world.
Yeah, if they beat you, it's because they have actually bettered you in that duel, and that's fine. Then you can't do anything about it. But there's so many other aspects of his game defensively that he has to improve before I can call him an actual great defender. Because it's good stopping someone coming at you, but what about other things that can make you a complete sort of defender if you want to get to that level one day? Do you know what I mean?
100%. He's still young, man. He's 21. I'm going to keep facing it. Jerry said, I thought that goal was on Ali, though.
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. We'll come to Ali later. I've got trash defenders means some trash players, bag goals, cough, finding Timo Werner. I don't know why Timo Werner's catching.
It's so random, man.
I know it was. Timo Werner got a good assist, man. Man's are saying, he should have.
No, he's a joke, man. Though. No.
Yeah, he should have shot.
He should have shot.
That is not an assist. He has to score that.
Don't get me wrong, he should have shot. But I'm pretty confident he wouldn't have scored that. So that's why I thought it was the right thing for him to do.
Yeah, fact. But I mean, you only can score if you try, innit?
Kane obviously shoots, innit? Obviously, but Werner's not that kind of guy, and he's not in the form, innit? But coming back to Arsenal, we've got to ask. Look, we're not really going to speak too much about Liverpool. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We will mention about some point. But Arteta, has there been progress, Kale? That is the question. Has there been progress?
What time to go?
Do you trust the process?
Do you trust the process, Kale?
I haven't trusted that.
Let me mute myself for this. I want to listen with real intent.
I've been on I was on 2 rants last week. It might be another rant this week because I don't know how many times Arsenal were going to embarrass me this season. Because West Ham was embarrassing. Who did we look? Man City was embarrassing. This game was embarrassing. I just don't know what happened. And there are some pundits that are saying, the players didn't follow Arteta's plan. Big man, they all went behind. There was 11 men behind that ball. That was the plan.
Yeah, it was.
That was the plan. So saying all this nonsense, they let Arteta down, not following the plan. They didn't press hard enough. Bull. They were told to sit and hope for the counter. Their 2 defenders in Kabak and Williams. Is it Williams?
Yeah, it is.
Were on the halfway line the entire match.
Sorry,
Phillips.
Phillips.
Did we play one ball over the top? Nope, not one. Not one for Aubameyang to run onto, but I've been saying it for years. Aubameyang,
he's a left back, though, right? You don't need to worry about that.
You're wasting him on the left. He can't beat a man. His pace is not the same. So what's the point playing him on the left? You need to play him down the middle. Lacazette does not score goals. So why are you playing Lacazette there? Because he works hard. Bro, you're a striker.
I would actually, if I was him, I was just saying this to, I can't remember what I was saying to, but if I was Arteta, right, if he's going to play that defensive, I'd have went 3-5-2, or let's just put Aubameyang and Lacazette together up top. Because he was so isolated, Lacazette. Now you can say what you want about him. I've been very critical of Lacazette. However, I will defend him because he does actually do. He brings a lot of people into the game.
He does
but why is he not playing as a 2 with Aubameyang? It doesn't make sense. They would do well together.
No, but here's the thing. Freddie Ljungberg in 2019 said they don't play well together. I'm pretty sure Emery, when he was there, said they probably don't play well together. Now Arteta's been there for a year and a half. They haven't played well together once, not once, and he consistently plays them. But Martinelli, who played well for 5 minutes, looked better than Aubameyang the entire match. So he needs to make a decision. He needs to say, what do you want up front? Do you want goals or do you want work rate? Because if I'm thinking if I want a striker, I want goals. I don't want work rate, doesn't matter. Plus, Aubameyang works hard enough. He works hard enough. He might not work as hard as Lacazette, but he works hard enough, and he's got the pace to get up and down. Lacazette does not have that. Pepe, but to their point going forward, Pepe, Laka, and Orba, they have no service whatsoever. Ceballos, big man.
Isn't according to Arsenal fans, after one game he's the replacement for Cazorla? That's why I heard.
Yeah, but you know I'm not that Arsenal fan. It's crazy. No shame. Yes, there is no shame into losing to Liverpool, a champions Liverpool. Not this Liverpool. This Liverpool, 7th.
Yeah, and
they have been on.
That's what I was going to say. Like this Liverpool wasn't great.
Courtesy of you, though. They were 9th prior to the game.
This Liverpool is a poor side and poor form, and they turned up to the Emirates and actually done it. They didn't even defensively. They were relaxed. Offensively, they were relaxed. They just waited for Arsenal to make the mistakes, and that's I don't know how many years we have to go back to this. We constantly, always against the big six, constantly making mistakes, and they can't.
I've got a question, right? Obviously, I had to get the table up because I didn't want to ask you without having actual context. So I've got the table up in front of me. So Arsenal currently sat on 42 points, right? They're about 7 points off Europa League after that L, right? For me personally, your season was being done for a long time. Like, the only thing he could have clinged on to was a Europa League spot potentially, right? It doesn't seem like you're going to get that. Why is he just not releasing the shackles? Like, you got nothing to lose in the league, right? If you finish 11, 12, 13, it's no better than flipping finishing 10th. Like, it's the same difference now to Arsenal fans. I don't think they're going to care if you go to 11th or 12th now because it's still not good enough either way. So for me personally, obviously the Liverpool game's not the game, but what I want to see moving forward from Arsenal is him experimenting with different systems, different like types of styles of play, like being a bit more adventurous, like allowing the players, like you actually look like a half-decent team with Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka playing that quick one-touch football. Like you look similar to Arsenal of the old to an extent, and he seems to be nullifying that. And like I said, actually plays very well in that system with them. I'm not saying drop Aubameyang, but you seem to play better without Aubameyang. I feel like you play better without Aubameyang. Like Daniel, what are your thoughts? Do you think like Arteta now, he's got no excuse now. He's got to just experiment with the team because if he's going to be here next season, he's got basically 8 games into the end of the season that don't really mean anything. It's almost like a pre-season.
Yeah, no, facts. I agree. Like, look, the Aubameyang deal is not to bite them in the bum once again. I mean, he's disrespectful. Actually, I think he's disrespectful to be given. To do the Insta Live, to go to the stadium, to get Ian Wright crying as well, like to do all of that, to just have a terrible season and a terrible year and not even provide the goals that you initially had, and that's why you got the deal. Like now, does he? Like they were moving as if he was on course to get a statue. Does he still deserve that statue now? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, Aubameyang is disrespectful, man. He's disrespectful. But in all honesty, in terms of Arteta, I just personally don't think he's the guy. Like. What are you telling me? Arteta's doing better than what Emery was doing. Emery was getting top 6, like he was there or thereabouts, like he was trying his best.
Like
and that's and that's an experienced coach. So I just think that Arsenal don't really know what they want to do. Arteta's drowning in the job, and no one's seeing it. Like we're just ignoring it.
I've said it. So I said
as in, I'm talking about mainstream media, just ignored. Yeah. I know you've been saying it, but
he's got a nice hair, yeah, he wears a nice jacket. So
do you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine Oli had Man United in 10.
He got drip, man.
Bro, if Oli had Man United in 10,
they're probably burning his house down.
Can you imagine the headlines, Kojo?
Who's they? Me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just in case.
But nah, yeah.
A random act of God, Ollie's house burns down.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case.
No, literally.
Don't come and find me, bro. I'm home playing my PS5, man. Leave me alone.
Kill knows where he lives, man. Kill knows where he lives in Buxton. Oh, God. But listen, in terms of Arteta, man, like for me personally, like he's getting away with murder. I've been saying it for so long. I feel like the general consensus on this podcast is that Arteta is not good enough. We're gonna have to obviously mention Liverpool, and the main question I've got to ask for you guys is, are Liverpool gonna make the top four? Because it does seem like they're the favourites, really. Like I feel like because it's Liverpool, given that they are current champions. What do you guys reckon?
Their running's really easy. They got like a whole bunch of sides that are in the bottom half of the table. But then again, it is.
They got others, I think that's it.
I think their hardest game is. No, I don't think City.
It's us. It's Man United.
Oh, United. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the hardest game is United. So maybe, but then again, I feel like this result against Arsenal, I don't think that should be like the driving force behind the argument that they might reach top four, because everybody can turn up against anybody can turn up against Arsenal. It doesn't mean anything in terms of form.
Yeah, but to be fair, they've done it in the past, haven't they? They've turned up against Arsenal in the past, and there's just nothing's material. They also got that 7-0 against Palace, didn't they? And then that's actually was just the game before the shocking run. Kojo, what do you reckon? Do you think this could be the turning point for Liverpool in terms of finally get back into the Champions League spot? Do you think would you put them as your favourites now?
They still wouldn't be my favourites, but they're definitely in the running. I mean, it's important right now for them that they got Jota back and they got Fabinho back in the midfield. So I think that's been a very big boost for them. They need to actually just not stop. They just stop playing Fabinho. I don't care about what he brings in other players' nonsense. He's not contributing what they need at the end of the day right now. But yeah, those two players coming back was key because Jota's been behind Salah their best attacker this season. So they need that Fabinho in the midfield that does a better job in his role than anybody else that does in that team for him. So it's key. Apparently Trent, who only missed one England squad, so everyone's screaming that he should be, Can
we just quickly mention this? Because like, on every single commentary, for some reason they're like, "Oh, look at Trent celebrating." You know how much it means to him. He's been left. It's been a hard week for him. Like, cry me a river, bro. Like, you're 20. How old is he? 22, like, you gotta say it's a big deal, man. That's what you'd expect from him. And people are saying this is like, don't get me wrong, I said this is the only way he should be answered by performing on the pitch. But relax, man. Like, it's just, this is the issue with English media, man. They just gas up all the players for no reason.
You got this like thing about, but other players that were not in form were in the England squad. No one said they agreed with Southgate's choices in the first place. No one said that we agreed that Eric Dyer should be in that team. We know that Dyer shouldn't be in any squad, England or Tottenham squad. But the fact is, he made it, and that's what it is. But Trent, just because Trent was in fine form, and when I say fine, not like really good form, just like he was fine, doesn't mean he warrants a place in the team. He was poor. He's been poor this season. So he plays one game this year against Arsenal. Good performance, but he gets one assist and he's playing a couple of good passes as he usually does, and it's turned into. Southgate would have no choice but to put him back into the team. They're doing a whole section of thing for him on this match of the day, based on England. I'm just like, he missed one squad against San Marino and Albania. Like, it's not deep. It's really not deep. You know he's going to make the Euro team. You know he's going to be in the starting 11. Just take it easy. Every player misses international once in a while. It's not that deep. If he's not being good, he's not being good, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So. All this hype about him not being in the England squad.
England defensively are going to have Trent, Stones, and Maguire on one side.
That is scary.
That might be one of the shittest defenses going. But
that's scary. That's scary.
Marshall, that is scary, man.
That's scary.
And we got a manager in Southgate that's a fraud. I don't care. I can't wait until we start doing the international stuff, right? I'm telling you that. You guys don't know my thought. I'm telling you that. If you think I don't like Ollie, Lord, I miss you're not.
No, just think about it. I mean, Southgate watches Calvin Phillips play in a 4-1-4-1 formation for Leeds, and then plays him on the right side of a 3 for England. I mean, like, what do you want to do after that?
So Sancho can't get in the team in it because got full Foden on the right wing. It is what it is, isn't it? But oh my God, Southgate is an absolute fucking fraud. Man bought one waistcoat and I got bleeding work colleagues going down to buy waistcoats tonight because he really beat flipping Colombia on penalties or some shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't even name 3 Colombia players from that team right now. like they're flipping hardly anyone in it. Like just like a couple of decent players. Oh my god, that was the shittest running I've ever seen, and the bottled it to Croatia. That's the way I see it. He's an absolute fraud. Worse than Ali, it is what it is. But let's move on to another manager that might be called a fraud. It is, I'll let you guys decide. Jose Mourinho. But to be honest, I'm gonna defend him here. It was completely not his fault. Well, it was actually to an extent, but in terms of the second goal, absolutely embarrassing. I'm gonna start with his comments post-match. Just classic Jose. He got asked something along the lines of, you kind of build your career on, holding on to a lead. That is basically what everyone would affiliate with you. He basically replied with the classic Jose line, same manager, different players.
Yes.
I love it.
That's my king. That's my king. That's my king.
We'll let you start first. I know Daniel's a huge Jose fan, so he's probably going to agree. But Kojo, what are your thoughts, man? Because is he wrong? That's the question. Is he wrong?
The thing is, this is why he's my king, because he'll say it with his chest, and he's not wrong. See, the thing is here, right? I actually got into his neck this weekend because you shouldn't be.
Oh, Kojo's gone.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I got a phone call and it just went off, but I'll call him back soon. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was going to him this weekend because I was like, 22 shots against Newcastle, you shouldn't be conceding. I'm sorry. That's poor. That's very, very poor. No Steve Bruce team should be giving you 22 shots in any capacity whatsoever, right? But at the same time, Spurs fans also know they have been complaining about these same defenders for a while now. And nothing's changed. And I feel like he keeps changing his backline because he just doesn't know. There was a time when...
They're all shit, basically. He's just rolling the dice. There
was a time we had Reguilon doing well on the left, and you had Aurier doing well on the right, and then Alderweireld down. I think Dyer, well, he wasn't in form, but he was part of a defense that was doing okay. So, he thought he found something there, and then they all got back into their normal form. Apart from Alderweireld, he's aging, so he's kind of losing his talents anyway. And Reguilon's been okay, but he's injury prone as well. So he's just having difficulty finding that. But brother, 22 shots. Steve Bruce, yeah, it's not acceptable. I can't even analyze it properly because it's just poor. It's very, very poor to say. But look, at the end of the day, Tottenham's team is very poor defensively, and there's still a lot of work to do with that team. I think the fans know it. I think a lot of the players know it, and the criticism is facts. Listen, it is different players. These players do not hold on to leads under Pochettino. They were not holding to leads under using Mourinho either. That's a simple fact. That's as simple as it gets. So as far as I'm concerned, they should have beaten Newcastle. But at the same time, you're not surprised because at this point, the fact that you can go into the dictionary now, you can Google words, and then the description below in the sentence is Spurs did this, or it's very Spursy, or it is.
Bottom of the dictionary is basically Spurs.
Do it. Yeah. Essentially. Shout out Chiellini, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yo, that Chiellini violated them. It's so funny when you see Spurs fans, right? It's trying to have banter with Juve. Like, why are you like? I don't know if you've seen Spurs fans like when Juve lose or something, they're like slagging off Chiellini. It's like, have you not seen it?
No.
Oh shit! Have you never seen it?
I have.
Bro, they're like Juve were losing. Peter Spurs fan will be like, fuck you, I'm like one of them was like, there's some big team. I think Kojo's going to play on the PS5. But Danny, let's get your thoughts. Do you think Jose is to blame? Where do you sit on the whole Spurs situation? Because mathematically speaking, they would have been above you. So, do you still see them as a threat? Joe Linton scored as well. Should have got a second. It's a madness. What do you reckon?
Then of course they're a threat. I mean, it would be silly for me to say Tottenham aren't a threat. Like, it's very, very possible and easy for them. Look, the person who's going to finish in the top four is the person who has the best run to the end of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? From now, I'll say the team with the best form from now will obviously finish in the top four. Do you know what I'm saying? But in terms of Tottenham, it's not it's Jose Mourinho's fault. It's a player's fault. I don't know why the narrative means that there has to be an or. It's both. Both have to take responsibility, and I even think it's equally weighted. I actually think it's so like this is one of the blatant cases where it's not really like Man United, where Man United actually had quality players, or Chelsea actually had quality players littered throughout the squads, and then he couldn't motivate them. They didn't believe in him anymore.
What do you
Like
think about that
Tottenham,
comment, Daniel? Joelinton more clinical than Werner.
I mean,
And
how much?
Martial, the first one says.
Joelinton cost like what, 50, 60 mil, something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot, like 40 M's apparently.
Yeah,
Nah,
like,
36, no?
definitely like 40 and above.
Close to 40, I know that.
Yeah. So boy, anyway,
Who did they
yeah,
sell?
it's
They
like
sold
Tottenham.
Rondon, didn't they? Rondon.
Yeah, Salomon Rondon. He was a baller though, to be fair.
Mm.
But yeah, Tottenham, man, it's equally weighted, man. They don't have great players. They've got Harry Kane. I mean, I keep telling people Son isn't world class, and they don't want to listen.
I seen your tweet.
No, he's a top player. Like, he's a top player. When we start talking, like, this is why I was explaining, and everyone was on to me saying I'm da. Like, you can't go missing as a world class player, especially in this Spurs team that isn't doing well.
I've always felt he's elite. I think your football class you got to do for quite a few seasons.
To
have that title in it, and you got to win trophies as well to the extent as well.
Yeah, I'm not even disrespecting him. But yeah, man, Tottenham's not. You can sack the manager, but if you don't back the new manager, just a simple case. It's just like Man United. If you don't back the new manager, the results aren't going to change, man. And moving to a new stadium doesn't guarantee success, as they're finding out. So, boy.
I thought you were going to mention Arsenal there for a second.
Yeah,
I was racing.
I'm gonna actually tie into Arsenal. Obviously, we'll touch upon Kane's future and everyone's thoughts on that very shortly. But in terms of the last 10 minutes, Spurs have lost 13 points this season. The last 10 minutes alone, which is actually the most by any team, which is quite clear why Jones is frustrated. I suppose for you, Cahil, being as an Arsenal player this time, that done the job. Obviously, eventually put it into the roof of the net. What are your thoughts on the situation, man? It just seems like Spurs are just doing what they do best, bottling it when they really need to get the points.
It's glorious, isn't it? That's what I can say. That's the fan. That's the fan. That's the fan of me. But just to echo Daniel, it's 50-50. It's Jose can't keep playing this style of football every time he gets one bad result, because there's always a pattern. He always plays when he first gets the job. He starts playing this not expansive but exciting football, so very good counter-attacking football, and then he gets the one defeat, a la the West Ham or draw, like the 3-3.
3-3, yeah, West Ham.
West Ham, and he panics. And for the rest of the season, I know what I have to do. I have to stick to this plan, which never ever works and always ends with him getting the sack. But then again, those Spurs players, I agree with Daniel as well. Like that Son isn't world class. I feel like if everything goes through him, he's a very good player, but he's a very selfish one at that. He always looks for the shot instead of looking up and seeing what the best option is available to him. He always goes for goal. So if it runs through him, he's a perfect player. If he needs to bring in Harry Kane or Gareth Bale, you're seeing right now that he's just not that good. But yeah, everybody else, man, they're just pathetically poor. That defense is worse than Arsenal's, and that's saying something.
Wow, that's saying a lot. We got obviously the Spurs fan here, Spurs Unfiltered. Fact, Son's decision making is not world class. Fair enough. That statistic. Oh, okay, thank you. You to say 100%. This is Joelinton being more clinical. Just to add to the whole situation. For me personally, I just think Jose Mourinho and Tottenham Hotspur was a weird fit because if he's going to go to Tottenham, I'd expect him to get money, and it just seems to be like a club that hasn't got it.
He did. He got quite a bit.
He did. But like as you said correctly, when Arsenal, went from Highbury to Emirates, as we saw recently with Wenger admitting that he was told he had to sell a player, etc., an important player, so to speak. And I feel like with COVID as well, Spurs are going to be in trouble. Like for me personally, Jones is not going to work, but I got part of me thinking that he wants to get sacked because he loves the payoff, doesn't he? He loves the payday.
I don't think he cares though. I feel like either way he doesn't care because either on one hand he gets the payday.
I think that's unfair, man. I don't think Jose wants a payday. Like that's unfair on him.
I'm not saying he wants a payday when he took the job. I'm saying right now, as things stand, he knows he's not going to get money because the club haven't got it unless Kane leaves realistically, which we're going to touch on shortly. Like that's the only way they're gonna have money because of COVID, they've spent all the money on the new stadium. Like it's quite evident they're not gonna have much money to spend.
But in those situations, like the reason why, and it's not even me backing Jose. Like this is more so looking at the comparison. So the United and Chelsea, we were at the top, and we were like United finished second. United won Europa League and the League Cup. Chelsea won the league the season prior. So like he was angry with the way the club went down. He wanted more, so he could do more. Tottenham haven't really done anything. Like that's my point. So I don't think he's looking at it like, if I get sacked now, it's not that deep. I guarantee you, if Jose wins anything with Tottenham, he'll say it's his greatest achievement ever. Do you know what I'm saying? He wants to win. No, I know, but I genuinely think if he does win with Tottenham, like an FA Cup at least, that is a big achievement. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a great achievement.
It is for them. They've not won a trophy in
exactly
16 years. So God, it is a big achievement, and especially if he still gets top four, though, there's still an opportunity to do that. But in terms of the prize possession, Harry Kane, also I don't know if you saw Willock's interview after the game. Have you seen it? It's crack up. They asked him obviously you got subbed on, etc., and he didn't even ask him, but he goes, "Yeah, the manager told me to just run about and just score a goal. That's what the manager's tactics was." He goes, "Yeah, he just told me to run about and just score. That's why his tactics and structure there from side." But in terms of Harry Kane, it's quite evident that he wants to leave from his post-match interview. He was quite damning of the situation in terms of them losing points again. Like, for me personally, and that's the Kish and Kish agrees, is if Harry Kane's got any bit of ambition, he needs to leave. And I think Spurs need to... They don't need to sell him. They definitely don't, because obviously he's Kane. But if they're going to actually do this rebuild properly, I think Kane needs to be a side byproduct of this. But how do you replace a guy of that ilk, man? I just don't get it.
You don't. You take the money and you try and build around somebody else. I mean, Troy Parrott is the obvious choice. Obviously, he's coming from the academy.
Yeah, I can't tell if you're taking the piss now. You're taking the piss, right?
No, I'm not taking the piss. No. Listen.
They're from Harry Kane to building around.
No. I'm not saying that they are the same quality or the same ilk. I'm just saying you have to look at it now as a rebuilding. They need to rebuild the squad. They can't keep Harry Kane.
Yeah, but you don't need to flip and have Troy Parrott starting up front. Doesn't even have a senior goal yet.
He's a youngster. I feel like you just maybe give him a chance. See in a few games. See what I don't know. Every time somebody in Tottenham brings up Troy Parrott, they say he's a very good prospect. So I've not seen him personally. But I hear good things, and that's where I'm getting that from. Obviously, you guys.
If Tottenham want to be even anything,
sell Kane and make Parrott the main man.
Yeah.
God.
Jose Mourinho is resigning. If Daniel Levy tells him to start,
but here's the thing. If you sell Kane and you're looking for a top quality striker,
you have to buy a striker.
No, how much money is that going to cost out of that one? We assume it's 100.
I mean, you couldn't. Michi Batshuayi, but he's better than Troy Parrott.
Bro,
I know you're not going to buy him. I'm just saying, bro. There's better options than Troy Parrott being your main man.
That's not sell Thierry Henry and then get a fucking Nketiah to replace him. That's what you just said there.
But here's the thing: there is a limited supply of very good strikers and good strikers that will get you to the top four. Now let's talk about the strikers that Tottenham fans will probably hope for. Haaland and Mbappe. They ain't coming if Harry Kane goes. So
they're not coming.
They wouldn't come.
I know.
The league, they wouldn't come.
I know. But I'm just saying, those are the type of strikers that they would want to replace Harry Kane. Who else is there that is affordable that they could bring in to...
I think there's options. I think you can look at Dembele at Atletico Madrid. Like, he doesn't get game time there. He's a nice young striker that you could he's good. You got Odson Edward, Celtic.
That's why I didn't mention him, because I want him at Arsenal. So don't mention him.
I was about to say him at Celtic. I think he needs a move, to be honest.
There's options, man. Come on, you could. I mean, Troy Parrott as an option. Yeah, fair enough. If you want to progress him through the team, as a bench striker, but to flip and start him in the new season next year, having a laugh.
I don't know. I don't know. What I'm hearing,
we've got Ben there.
I was hearing. All I was doing was hearing good stuff. So I tried to echo it.
Troy Pirate isn't on the same level as any of our youngsters, man. Let's stop.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I apologize. But anyway,
I feel apologize. It's Tottenham so good, isn't it? I mean,
true.
You're Arsenal through and through. Like, for me personally, he's got to go, man. He's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go. But they need to spend that money wisely. That's why I don't think they should buy a striker, because the striker is going to cost a lot of money, a good chunk of the money.
Who are they going to play up front then?
I don't know. You guys laughed at Troy Barrett. So
Troy Barrett, honest to God, can someone put a timestamp on this?
How long is the Vinicius deal?
People have a vote on it. If you just said Vinicius, I would say.
Then they signed Vinicius.
Yeah,
and they signed him.
He's not good either though. Like,
I know, but it's like I said,
he's no Troy Pirate, Daniel. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
Would they go for Patrick Bamford? That seems to be the guy. Or Danny Ings. They seem to be the guy.
Bamford's shocking.
They're taking the piss.
Yes,
They're going to sell Kane and buy Patrick Bamford, who will be 29.
Man's older.
Patrick Bamford's 28, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't
know for Spurs, bro. I don't know for Spurs. It's a mess.
Yeah, they can get like a Zet or
I'll pay postage as well, man. Don't worry about that.
Right, man's just out selling Kane and getting Lacazette in. But listen, let's just quickly finish on Manchester United. Keep it short and sweet, because to be quite frank honest with you, I couldn't care less. Our Kojo's back, thankfully. Obviously, we always do the podcast and we go into more detail regarding Man United. But just keep it short and sweet, really. Top four, is it now sealed for Manchester United, Buzz? What do you reckon?
And hold on. Just to add for 1 second.
Kojo, you have just missed an absolute statement.
He was Kojo was one of the guys that were bigging up Troy Parrott as well. So
wait for what?
KL said, listen to this, right? So we were saying Kane should leave in it, and Spurs got to reinvest that money into like rebuilding the squad. So KL said, I don't think they should buy a striker, because they got Troy Parrott to replace Kane.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What you said.
That is not what I said. You twisted my words.
He said, they're gonna sell Kane. So out of Tottenham, I'm hearing good things. Maybe they should consider Troy Parrott. You basically said consider him. Yeah, that fair?
I didn't say replace. I said
you are not. You are not selling a 30-goal a season striker to start your rebuild with Troy Parrott starting up front for you. I'm so sorry. If you do that, you're a joke.
There was a game with Darren T that Kojo went to, and they were talking about Troy Parrott.
He looks good in that game.
Troy Parrott is not good. He's not good. Stop telling me about Troy Parrott.
He might be good, but he's obviously can't replace Kane, and it is what it is. But Kojo, listen, in terms of top four, Man United won 2-1 yesterday. As you guys probably know, because there was no watching along, I didn't actually watch the game because I was working. Look, I've seen the highlights. We were absolutely shocking, but it is what it is. Got the 3 points. Does that confirm Champions League football for Man United next season? What do you reckon?
Not yet, but it should be. We should be on the way there now. We should be looking at.
We're 11 points clear.
No, I know that, but again, we've been clear in the past of things, and it's not turned out the way that I wanted it to turn out. So I'm being a bit wary. But
Kojo, it's okay to say it's done, man. It's done.
This isn't one of them. Let me be cautious, whatever. This is Man United have stressed me over the last 7 years. So I'm not saying anything about they've done it now. But no. If I'm being honest, at this point, you should be looking to just make sure top 3 is now your target. Forget about top 4. You should be thinking about top 3 places and the second and third. So if that's to overtake you, fine. If they don't, then you have to finish second, because no one else should be catching you right now. So that's as far as it gets for me. So we should.
Yay, the second place trophy. Woo.
Yeah.
We've done it, boys.
Yeah, second.
Ali's unreal. He's secured the second place trophy. He's definitely progressed.
Second time.
But to be fair though, this time last season you had 46 points. This year you have 60.
Yeah,
I mean,
play worse football as well. So
right. Yeah. So Kale, we'll come to you. What do you reckon? Do you think Man United have progressed with the Ali, and obviously do you think they've secured that top 4 now?
They've secured top 4. I don't think anybody's gonna. I think from all the teams out of top 4, I think everybody was certified that Man United were going to be remaining in that top 4. Progress. it's hard to. I can see arguments from both sides. Obviously, like what Daniel said, went from 46 to 60 points in this current position, but it's Ollie, in it. You just can't enjoy the football that he's playing. So it seems like everybody in that team is playing worse football than what they were last season. So it's up and it's down, man.
Fair enough. Daniel, what do you reckon?
I said it already. Look, and I told Darren this, and when Darren don't reply to me, it means that he's gone to go and have a think. My point is, with Man United, I keep saying it. I understand if you're saying you don't think you can win new trophies. That's cool, and I even agree with the Ollie outers who say I don't even care what he does. I don't like him. I want him out. Do you know what? That's fine. But it's the people saying he hasn't improved the team. Like, there's no clear signs of progress. There's no improvement. Like, bro, no one can tell me Ollie hasn't improved certain individuals, for one. Two, when you look at Ollie and the parameters he has to work in, you go on and on and on. He has to work under the Glazers. He has to do this. He's a yes man. Bro, do you know how many yes men who can't get results? He's a yes man and he's getting results. And somehow he keeps saving his job time and time again. And he does it all the time. And then on top of that, like, what I always say as well is that you can bring in your manager, the manager that you want, the Nagelsmann, the guys with a bit more charisma. But with those guys who have charisma, they want more control. They want a bit more control than Ollie wants. If the manager now goes against the Glazers and starts calling the Glazers out, but isn't getting the results, you're going to see revisionism from Man United fans, because Ollie was a yes man getting results under the bad parameters. But then the new manager, because it's the manager that everyone likes, if it's the Nagelsmann or Pochettino, they're not going to complain, even though he's not getting the results. Do you know what I'm saying? So, bro, like, I don't know if he's referring to me. I think Ollie's a dead manager as well. But at the same time, like, you can't ignore the clear signs that he is working under difficult circumstances and still getting results. Even the perfect example, last point, was the Juan Mata thing. You saw the board want to give Juan Mata a new contract, but Ollie will come out and say, nah, it's me, because he's a yes man. He does what the club wants. You think other managers are going to do that and fall in line? And the manager who's not doing that won't be getting the results, but United fans will be saying, nah, because he's a quality manager, we had the Glazers. Bro, come on, man. He's getting results, man. Like, at least give him that credit.
Yeah, he's definitely got the results. I don't think there's any denying that. Look, end of the day, the points say all they need to say. Like, look, if you always get more points than the previous season, then you've got to say that it's improvement in that sense, because that's all that matters, points on the board. Like, at the end of the day, like, you know, we could be playing brilliant football, and if we're sat on 49 points, you know, playing brilliant football, 11 points less better than as a United fan, I'm going to be like, well, I'd rather be on 60, obviously. But in terms of my personal opinion, we will obviously go into more detail on tomorrow's podcast. I don't want to learn too much, but it's more down to the, you know, as Kojo will know from my perspective, he has to win a trophy. Like, for me to say, City and say he's progressed the club, he has to win a trophy. And the reason being is because, and we spoke about in the chat earlier, is the sort of the bar or the standards of this club have become so low because of the inability from the previous managers post Fergie. So the Moyes, the Van Gaals, the Joses, they massively lowered the bar. So now a lot of My United fans, I don't know if you guys have seen this, are saying, well, this is the first time we've gone back to back in top four post Fergie. And although that's a good thing, don't get me wrong, because it shows consistency. For me personally, if you spend 250 million, that when you go into the board meeting and you say these are the objectives for the season, that should be like a bare minimum. Like, if you don't get top four, you get sacked, which is what we've seen in the past.
In your honest opinion, what do you think the objectives of United were for this season?
Well, I can quote you what I said at the start of the season. I said, you know, he has to get top four as a minimum, and he has to win a trophy. And I did the podcast, and obviously, as you would know, pre-season, you talked to a lot of different people from different platforms. And literally, everyone said the same. We have to win a trophy. We bottled 3 semi-finals last year. This year, we bottled one as well, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. We were some point.
Man City.
Oh yeah, this season. Okay, yeah, it was this season. The League Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. So we've already bought one. So we're already 4-0 in a negative sense. But it's like, for him to show real progress and actually have the high standards of the club. He needs to win a trophy because top four, like I'm sure all of you guys, when you talk to your mates, you say, well, Man United spent 250 million. Like, look how much money we spent, right? Compared to other teams, he spent a lot of money. Like, compared to other teams, top four for this Man United team shouldn't be lauded as an achievement. It should be the bare minimum. And I would say the same for Chelsea come next season when Tuchel's had his time now. If Tuchel gets top four next season, I personally don't think a Chelsea fan should be sitting there clapping, because that should be expected of him. With the players he's got, with the summer window expected from Chelsea, with a lot of money that's going to be spent. So top four for me isn't something that under Wenger it wasn't shouted about. It was laughed at for a reason, because Arsenal should be in the top four. Like, it's as simple as that. Arsenal's ambition was to win it. The fans' ambition back then, when Wenger was in charge, when they were criticising him, wasn't him getting top four, because yes, top four is seen as an achievement, but Arsenal should be getting top four. They need, for him to be successful, is win a trophy, and it's the same for me with Oli. So that's why I stand on it.
But don't you feel like Man United fans flip flop on the targets? Because when it was under Jose, he was winning you the trophies, but he wasn't getting you the top four. Now Oli's getting you the top four, but now you guys want trophies.
That's season. Sorry, Kojo.
So I think what it is obviously the expectations were different with Jose and Ole. So when Jose came in,
Jose's got a track record now.
Like, obviously, Kel, we do through midfield together. When Jose came in, I was saying he has to win stuff straight away. Like, I was saying that because that's why I wanted it from him. That's the reason why I wanted him. At that point, I was desperate for trophies, and he did exactly. So, he did his thing, and then the next year he finished second, so he got Champions League football. But next year after that, it was disastrous. He got sacked. Is what it is. With I think when it comes to Ole, it's been gradual. I think when he came in, we didn't really know what to expect. If we're being honest, no one really knew. We can talk about Mulder, but no one watched Mulder play football. We only watched him at Cardiff. That's facts. If you knew about Mulder, it's because, like, I'm honest enough to say it. That's one. Number two, if you didn't watch them, but you knew his records because you researched it. That's what it is. That's fine. That's fine to admit. But after a while of being in the job and him knowing and saying before in the past that his objective here is to win trophies in his third year, you want to see that natural progression. So now you've been to 4 semi-finals and you've lost. The question will always be, are you going to be the manager to get them over the line? And that's what the question is at the end of the day. He's not doing a bad job at all.
He's not doing a bad job.
Daniel's right. He's getting the results.
He's a 7 out of 10.
Hold on.
This is all I'm going to say, yeah?
Hold on, Daniel.
Because, just very quickly, because this season isn't done yet. If Oli wins the Europa League and then gets second, I just want to see what people say, and then
he's had a successful season then. Very successful.
I said this in the group chat with Usmaan today, the United group chat that we had. I said, listen, if he gets top 4 and wins a trophy, then that's first proof that he can get you over the line in some capacity because he brought you a trophy. Because I've said it, 4 semi-finals. You can get to Champions League 2 years in a row, but 4 semi-finals and you lost them all, that's going to be a black mark on your record. So people are going to question the trophies.
This is what I'm saying. The context isn't... Bro, my boy showed me those 4 semi-finals. Lindelof cost you all of them, as in every single goal. No. And I was shocked. I was actually shocked. Bro, every single goal was Lindelof's fault.
No, I hear you.
But who's playing then?
Players do make errors at the end of the day, and you will have to get onto the players. Not always the manager's fault. You have to get on the players 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then again, on the other side, we always talk about the decisions of the in-game management of Ole and sometimes his substitutes and all that. But regardless of all of that, right now, you're in a quarterfinal and you're second place. If you come out of that with second place and a trophy, I don't think anyone can be mad. I don't think anyone can be upset. And
well,
we want to see
if he wins the Europa League.
Exactly.
And then you see, be upset, though. Of
course, there was a guy that went on the terrace and
Johnny,
he wants to lose every game from now to the end of the season.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, he said he wasn't gone completely. He doesn't care, and he's a madman. So at the end of the day, it's funny because he's a madman. But no, at the end of the day, look, if he wins that, then he's calm, and then no one can really complain. I just said it. The only thing I said is, if he manages to fall out of the top 4 somehow and not win the Europa League, that's when he has to go. But if he gets top 4, regardless of Europa League or not, he's going to stay in the job, and I think that's okay. But the next year, you'll want him to compete for something.
I personally don't think it's okay. I've got to be honest.
Well, I think when I say okay, I think he's okay in terms of staying in the job.
I think it's based on context, and we'll cfinish on this, and I'll throw it to Cahil and obviously Daniel to get your thoughts. Jerry's saying players, you say. Look, for me personally, I said this to the lads, and this went down like a lead balloon. No one agreed with me at the time. But in terms of the Europa League, right? Initially, when we got into the Europa League, I'm not going to sit and say you has to win it. However, context is everything. Look at the teams remaining in the Europa League, right? Can you guys honestly tell me that Manchester United should not win the Europa League? And what I'm saying is, just hear the whole point. So you've got to bear in mind, exactly. So you've got to bear in mind the other competitions that, for me, he has to win a trophy to be successful. FA Cup next season is harder to win the Euro. It's harder to win the FA Cup than it is the Europa League because, of course, all the top Prem teams are in there. Yes, it is. Of course, it is.
I told you I don't really particularly agree with this. I told you.
And of course, it's harder to win the FA Cup because you got all Man City, Chelsea, and everyone. And in the Europa League, all we got to do is beat Granada, beat either Roma, Ajax, or beat Arsenal in the finals. So
but Roma and Ajax are not basic teams.
And
I know they're not, but Man City are the basic team.
Hold on, Usman. No, that thinking. That's where it's revisionism again. Who did you beat to get to this situation? You beat the two teams who are favourites to win it, Real Sociedad and flipping AC Milan.
Yeah,
those are
that's
two
what
of
I'm
the
saying.
big
We've
teams in
beaten
the
the hard
competition.
teams now.
Exactly.
Now,
so what?
Yeah,
if you got the hard teams later, what does that change your thinking then?
My point is, if you can't win the Europa League with the context, i.e. the teams remaining, what trophy is he going to win at Manchester United? That's what I'm saying. Because if you can't win this trophy right now with the teams remaining, so you can't tell me Man United should win this competition with everyone who's remaining in the competition.
So what? Well, like
He also thinks that Arsenal should win the competition with all the teams remaining.
I said the only excuse I'll give him is if we lose to Arsenal in the final. That's the only one. But if he loses to anybody else, for me personally, for me, he's not competent to win a trophy.
What about the credit for beating the two other best teams?
That's fair play. I'm not knocking that. Fair play to him for that. But what I'm saying now, if you can't win the Europa League this season, I have no confidence that he can win a trophy next season because this is his easiest run-in to win a trophy. That's the point I'm making. We mentioned it with Southgate earlier with the England run-up. Again, not discrediting Colombia as a team or Croatia. Well, obviously Croatia beat them, but Croatia are obviously a good team. But realistically, in that situation, you'd expect them to play the Germanys, the Portugal, whatever it may be in it. And those teams weren't there. In this situation, there's not the teams of caliber that Man United should be beating Roma or Ajax over two legs. I'm just like, it might be arrogant. They're good teams. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not good teams. However, on paper, we should be beating them teams.
They play nice football. They play better football than everybody in those brackets.
Yeah,
but
they do, but
Man United have the better players.
Thank you.
Arsenal have the better players as well.
He has to
no one's disagreeing with that. But even with your Southgate example, as soon as England faced their first test, they lost. Ollie's actually beaten two of the best teams in the competition. Fair enough, cool. You're saying as the competition stands now, you believe the team should go on to win regardless because you believe you have the best team, and that's fine. But I'm just saying again, with what you're saying, the context that you're talking about, it's revisionist because you're saying the run-in was easy, but if you got knocked out to AC Milan, because AC Milan arguably was supposed to be the better team, even though you might have the better players, no one would have complained as much if you were to then go on to lose.
I'm not on about that. I'm not saying the running was easy to this day. I'm saying the running from now, i.e. Granada moving forward.
No, but the Europa League doesn't start from now, Usman, though. It doesn't start from...
I'm not saying, obviously, it doesn't start from now. But what I'm saying is if you can't win the Europa League, given the teams remaining in the competition, I don't have confidence in him to go back into the Champions League. I don't expect it to win the Champions League. I don't expect it to win the league. So that's two trophies he shouldn't win. If he wins any of them, I'll be blown away. Then he's only got the League Cup and the FA Cup remaining. Man City tend to win everything anyway. So, like, we lost to Man City, Chelsea. It's harder to beat Chelsea or Man City in a semi-final than it is to beat Roma over two legs. Like, you got more of a chance of beating Roma over two legs than a one-off game. That's the way I see it.
Fair enough.
Right, it is what it is. Anyways, we're going to wrap it there because we've got the Man United podcast. Tomorrow, we will go into more detail, as always, covering that game. Just want to say a massive thank you, as always, to our guests. Make sure you show love. Their links are down below. Obviously, their socials are also down below. Make sure you drop like, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Usmaan Talks United. We have got a podcast tomorrow, like I said, at 7 p.m. So stay tuned for that. Before we go, Cahil, we come to you first and foremost. If you just want to shout out your socials, where can the people find you, bro?
Free midfield on Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Kojo will get the rest if I mess them up. Free midfield podcast on YouTube as well. I missed something.
No, that was beautiful. That was correct.
Oh, okay.
That was beautiful.
There we
That
go.
was beautiful. That was
You love to
beautiful.
see it. You love to see it. Obviously, you know, make sure you show love to Three Midfield, as I've already said. Jerry will be on their show tomorrow, so make sure you give him some shit in the comments. We'd love to see it. And Daniel, where can the people find you, bro?
Guys on the Ball TV, Instagram, Twitter, and then obviously I see no screen for my personal stuff, man.
Oh, sorry.
I got my eye on the ball.
Yes, absolute banger. Listen, make sure you show love to
Come
the
on.
boys. Obviously, drop a like on this video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's been your boy, Usmaan. Apart from that, enjoy.